Thank you to Wildgrain for sponsoring. More on them later. The doors to the world of the wild are few but precious. If you have a deep scar, that is a door. If you have an old story, that is a door. If you love the sky and the water so much you almost cannot bear it, that is a door. If you yearn for a deeper life, a full life, a sane life, that is a door. Clarissa Pinkola Estes. Hello, dear friends. Jennifer here, and welcome back to the Daily Connoisseur. I went on a walk and noticed some storm clouds coming in. When I got home, I went into the garden to investigate. There wasn't a storm in the forecast, but I see storm clouds on the horizon and hear thunder off in the distance. I'm sitting with this unknowing right now, not knowing if a storm is coming or if it will pass. Not knowing necessarily what the next steps are, but just standing in this delicious moment with the rest of the wildlife, ready for whatever is to come. The Clarissa Pinkola Estes quote is from one of my favorite books, Women Who Run with the Wolves. She shares that the doors to the world of the wild are precious, that our scars, old stories, love of nature, and yearning for a deeper, fuller life are all doors. This world of the wild she references is the return to our own souls and intuition. I can find myself rushing so often through life, cleaning up messes, checking tasks off my list, running from here to there. I often miss the door to the wild. I miss just resting in the space of the unknown. Tonight, I'm lingering here and listening. I feel deeply like the wild is always calling to me, but am I listening? In our fast-paced world where we are always wired and on, always able to busy ourselves with doing and not necessarily with being, where we are sometimes blind to the beauty of nature, we are distracted. I came into the house to do some journaling after being outside, to write down my thoughts and reflect on all these emotions I'm feeling, on my own doors to the wild that are calling me to step through them, to take time to reflect with pen to paper on this wild and interesting life. After writing, I was beckoned once again to look outside. It turns out a storm was on the way. The rain began to pour down. Lightning, thunder, and hail followed. How interesting the storm wasn't in the forecast. It just showed up, as storms sometimes do. Enjoying the storm and marveling at its brief power is key, for this in itself is another door. Let's play around with some fashion now. I'm going to share this beautiful pearl necklace I have from By Waco. I love pearls and the symbolism that they represent, the turning of an irritant into something beautiful. By Waco means Lake Biwa, which is the birthplace of freshwater pearl farming since the last century. This is a Japanese brand, and they have very feminine, but also rather eccentric, untraditional, whimsical designs that I absolutely love. Their signature feature is the red bead, and this beautiful fan charm with the red dot on the pearl. I completely love this statement piece, and I've been enjoying pairing it with a few of my transitional spring looks. I hope you enjoy this fashion show. I wanted to thank Wildgrain for sponsoring this video. I'm so excited about this sponsor. Wildgrain is the first Bake from Frozen subscription box for sourdough breads, artisanal pastries, and fresh pastas. Wildgrain partners with small bakers and pasta makers across the country to keep the tradition of artisanal and nutritious foods alive. Here's what came in my box: cranberry pecan sourdough loaf, a plain sourdough loaf, slow fermented olive oil ciabatta, fresh Tonnarelli, fresh fettuccine, giant chocolate chunk cookies, and the croissant 4-pack. You will not believe how good these baked goods are. I love keeping these in our freezer and bringing them out to bake as we need and want them. What a fantastic idea to not only always be prepared for guests, but giving yourself a treat with this amazing variety of artisanal goods that level up your meals to gourmet status. Also, everything is meant to bake or cook from frozen, so you don't even have to thaw it. And the house smells amazing every time we baked one of these. I just know that you're going to love Wildgrain. Get $30 off your first box plus free croissants for life using my link down below and code Connoisseur. I'm going to take the Tonnarelli pasta from the Wildgrain box and make the best dish for you, but first I need to fill up the bird feeder because they need lunch before we do. They endured the craziest hailstorm last night, and I want them to feel the excitement of a brand new day. After I fill the bird feeder with seeds, I have a tradition. I always ring the wind chime, which I had taken down because of the wind, but now it's back, so they know their lunch is ready. I'm going to venture into the kitchen garden to pick up some herbs for my pasta. The herb garden is doing well. Only the basil seems to be failing right now, but everything else is thriving. I think it's the biggest luxury to be able to walk out into the garden for fresh herbs to complement my home-cooked meal. It's a luxury I will never take for granted. Time to put my apron on and chop some chicken for the pasta dish. I sprinkle some salt and pepper on the chicken and dust it with flour before sautéing it with oil over medium heat. Now I'm going to chop the parsley I picked from the garden, along with one giant shallot and some shiitake mushrooms I soaked and drained. I'm sautéing the shallot separately just to save time, while keeping an eye on the chicken. I'm going to boil the water now for the Tonnarelli pasta. This pasta is from the Wildgrain box. I'm excited to use it because I've never had this variety before. So to the chicken, I add some organic chicken stock, the shiitakes, parsley, and shallots. Then I add some heavy cream, salt, and pepper. By the way, I've completely made up this recipe based on what I had. It's my favorite way to cook. I boil the Tonnarelli according to the package instructions, and after draining it, I combine it with the sauce. To serve, I sprinkle Parmesan cheese on top and add a bit more parsley. This was so delicious. The shiitakes really make it, and the pasta was so supple and fresh tasting. I'll leave the recipe written for you down below. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. And thank you to Wildgrain for sponsoring. Click my link to get $30 off your first Wildgrain box, plus free croissants in every box, and use my code Connoisseur at checkout. Thank you for watching today. Keep calm and remain classy, and I will see you in my next video. Love, Jennifer.